Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Now, today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this super cute pumpkin pie slice coaster. It's a really nice size. It measures about 5 by 5, and you can see I've got a great big mug here, and it fits just perfectly. And I love the little addition that I added here. I didn't put this on to begin with, and I thought, what's pumpkin pie without a little bit of whipped cream? And so we made a little whipped cream poof there and added it, and I think it's perfect. This is super easy to make, and it's super fun if you whip up several. I think you can put like 4 or 5 together, and it looks like a pie. I think this is one of those perfect and fun little things we can stitch up to give away to our guests on Thanksgiving, or if we're having a family get-together around the holidays. This makes a really great gift. You can have everybody have their own slice of pie, send them home with it, and they'll remember what a fun time they had at your holiday get-together. Now, you can find the complete pattern with pictures, as always, down in that description box underneath this video. To make our pumpkin pie slice coaster, I decided to use cotton yarn. So I just got in my yarn stash and I pulled out some yarns I thought would work great. And I really love this one. This is the one from Hobby Lobby. I believe it's called Clay. And it just has some variegation in it that's different colors of shades of greens and yellows. And I think it's kind of fun, and it turned out really cute. And then I used this Peaches and Cream. It's called Oasis. I used that for the whipped cream up here and the whipped cream down here in the point. But of course, you can use any shades of orange that you want for your pie, and it can go a lot of different ways. And hey, make them in lots of different colors as well. Different shades of orange is lots of fun. And then of course I've got a white here, and this is that same Oasis, and I really like it. I know whipped cream is normally just white, but I like that it's an off-white with little speckles in it. Maybe you added a little bit of, nutmeg and things to the cinnamon to the whipped cream on top. And so it makes it just a little bit different. It doesn't take much, less than an ounce of your orange and probably not even a half ounce for your whipped cream colors. And so you've got lots of options there. This one here is the Premier cotton from Premier Yarns. This one is a Premier yarn also. This one is just your basic Peaches and Cream in a bright orange. And the same with this one, it's just Peaches and Cream and white. So you can use any. Just one thing to make sure is that you use the same fiber. You can do this out of acrylic yarn as well. Just don't mix your acrylic and your cottons, because then when you go to wash it, acrylics and cotton don't wash up the same. So if you're going to make it all in acrylic, that's fine. All in cotton or some other. Just remember your different fibers wash up differently. But it is a really great stash buster project because it doesn't take much. And I think it would be lots of fun in a bunch of different shades of orange. For today's project, though, I'm going to use this solid sort of a rust color. And I'm going to go ahead and use this one again because I just really like it. To me, it just looks like they sprinkled some cinnamon and nutmeg on top. Alrighty, so we're going to stitch today with our H-hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook. You need a needle for weaving in ends and for sewing on your little whipped cream. And then, of course, you're going to need a pair of scissors. We're going to start down at the point of our slice of pie and then increase as we go up. So I've got my orange yarn here. I'm going to make my slip knot. We're going to chain 2. And then in that second chain from the hook, we're going to stitch 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so for row 1, we have 3 single crochets. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to stitch 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So here's our first stitch. We'll stitch 2, 1 and 2. And our chain 1 does not count as a stitch on this project. we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next, and then we'll stitch 2 single crochets in that last stitch. 1 and 2. So now we've gone from 3 single crochets to 5. And chain 1. And that's what row 1 and row 2 should look like. 3 single crochets on row 1, 5 single crochets on row 2. We've chained 1, we're going to turn our work, and for row 3 we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each of those 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for row 3 we have 5 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to increase again. So we'll place 2 single crochets in that first one. 1, 2, then we'll stitch across. And then 2 single crochets in that last one. And chain 1. And you can already see our V shape is forming. All right, so on row 3, we stitched 1 single crochet in each of the 5, chain 1, turn, and then on row 4, we increased at the beginning and end, so we have 7 single crochets. All right, so we've chained 1, we're going to turn, and we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of those 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll chain 1 and turn, and we're going to increase again. So we'll place 2 single crochets in our first, 1, 2, and then we'll stitch across till we reach that last single crochet, and then we'll increase in that last single crochet. All right, so the last single crochet, 1 and 2, and chain 1. All right, so for row 5, we just stitched 1 single crochet in each of the 7. And then for row 6, we increased at the beginning and end of our row. So now we have 9 single crochets. All right, let's do row 7. We've chained 1. We're going to turn 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets working across. We stitched 1 single crochet in each stitch across, so we have 9 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to increase again, so we'll place 2 in the first one, 1 in each of the single crochets across. And when we get to our last single crochet, we're again going to place 2 single crochets in that last stitch. 1 and 2 and chain 1. All right, and see how it's becoming a slice of pie? So, for row 8, we have 11 single crochets. So now we're going to do this 2 more times. We're going to do a row where we don't increase, and then another increased row. A row where we don't increase, and another increased row. All right, so for row 9, we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets across. So we'll have 11 single crochets for row 9. Whoop, there we go. All right, chain 1. And then for row 10, we're going to increase at the beginning and the end of our row again. So I increased by 1 at the beginning and by 1 at the end and stitched 1 in each, going all the way across for row 10. So now we have 13 single crochets. I chained 1, turn our work, and now we just place 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets across. And then the next row we're going to repeat, increasing at the beginning and end of each row, and then we won't be increasing anymore. For row 11, I just stitched 1 single crochet in each across, and this is our last increase. Row 11 has 13, and so we're going to increase for 1 more row by placing 2 single crochets at the beginning and end of the row and 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets across. And this is our last row to increase on our slice of pie. Alrighty, 2 in the last, excuse my voice, 2 in the last, and chain 1. And this puts us at row 12, and we should have 15 single crochets. We're not going to increase anymore. So now what we're going to do is for the next 3 rows is we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each stitch across. And we'll have 15 single crochets in each of our rows. So we're going to do 3 rows of just 1 single crochet in each of our stitches, working all the way across each row. All right, so there's 1. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to stitch 2 more rows of just 1 single crochet in each of my single crochets across. And each of those 3 rows will have 15 single crochets. I have completed those 3 additional rows that are just 1 single crochet in each, chain 1, turn, 1 single crochet in each, chain 1, turn, 1 single crochet in each, chain 1, turn. All right, that brings us to row 15, and on row 15, you have 15 single crochets. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work down the side and back up so we have a nice row of single crochets down the edge. All right, so we're going to evenly single crochet in the sides of those stitches. And again, I've talked about this often. When you're doing single crochets, it's a little bit easier. Stitching in single crochets than, say, a double crochet because you have less holes to worry about. But what I try to do is go in the sides of those stitches and not in those holes if I can help it, because it'll give it a much better appearance. And so I'm evenly single crocheting down the side till I reach this point, the point of our pie. Alrighty. Alright, so now when we get down here to the point where we have the little hole where we made our first 3 stitches, we're going to go in there. We're going to single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet. And that's going to make a nice point for the tip of our pie. Okay? And then we'll just single crochet back up here, and that will give us a nice edge on our sides of our pie. So I have completed stitching all the way around the bottom edge of my slice of pie. And in the corner here we have a single crochet, chain one, single crochet, which makes a really nice point. All right, I've cut my yarn. I'm going to bring in my whipped cream color, and I'm calling it spiced whipped cream. Alrighty, let's get those out of the way there. There we go. We're going to single crochet in this very first stitch. We're going to skip the next one, and then in the next one we're going to stitch 2 half double crochets, chain 1 and 2 half double crochets. We'll skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next. Then we'll skip the next stitch and stitch 2 half double crochets, chain 1 and 2 half double crochets. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 3 loops. Alrighty, we'll skip the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next and 2 half double crochets, chain 1 and 2 half double crochets. Skip the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next, and again 2 half double crochets, chain 1 and 2 half double crochets. And then we're going to single crochet in that first single crochet where we started down the side and chain 1. And so now we have 4 half double crochet shell stitches for our first row of our whipped cream. So now we're going to turn. We're going to go to that first chain 1 space and stitch 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Single crochet in the single crochet, then go to the next chain 1 space and stitch 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, we'll go to the next single crochet, then we'll go to the next chain 1 space and stitch 4 half double crochets. And one more time, single crochet in the single crochet and 4 half double crochets in the chain 1 space. All right, and now we'll go to that first single crochet and stitch a single crochet, and we're done with our whipped cream. We have a few ends to weave in, of course. I'm going to move those to the back because this is the front of our pumpkin pie slice. Isn't that cute? The only thing left to do, of course, is to weave our ends in. But before we do that, I'm going to make that little bit of whipped cream that goes right there. So to make our little extra puff of whipped cream, we're going to start with our color that we're using for our whipped cream and make a slip knot, and then chain 2, 1 and 2. Now in the second chain from the hook, we're going to stitch 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, there we go, 5 and 6. We're going to join to this first single crochet with a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so now we'll go to the next one and slip stitch in that single crochet and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do this all the way around. Slip stitch, chain 4. Slip stitch in the next single crochet and chain 4. It'll end up looking like a flower with 6 petals. There we go. Then we'll join back to that first single crochet. There we go. And we're going to cut our yarn. We want to make sure we have a little bit of a tail here so we can attach it to our pie. But before I do that, I want to close up that hole in the center. So I'm going to take my yarn and my needle. So I threaded my yarn onto my needle and I want to close up this little hole. So I'm just going to stitch around. Alrighty, now we want to use this and this to attach it. Alright, so I'm going to take this string and pull it into the center. I like to give it a little extra loop here just so it doesn't come undone. If I can get it to come through there. There we go. I just do that to make it attach better and so that I have a string on each side. Okay, we'll push that up. That's going to make our little dollop of Cool Whip or whipped cream. And we'll put it right down here on the tail. On the point of our pumpkin pie. I don't think our pumpkin pie has a tail. Alrighty, so I'm just going to pull it through there. There we go. All right. And I just turn it over like this and tie a knot. It's not going to be an issue because it's down here on the point, and that's not where our cup is going to set, whether it's a glass or a can or a goblet, whatever kind of drink you're drinking to put on here. This little tuft of Cool Whip or whipped cream is all the way in the point. Now I do need to take a couple minutes and weave these ends in, but that is our solid pumpkin pie, and here is our spiced pumpkin pie. Aren't those cute? And just push those petals up and it'll look like Cool Whip. Have a slice of pumpkin pie on me. It's low in sugar, high in fiber. These are so cute, and you can see there's plenty of room for a nice big mug, even with that little extra dollop of whipped cream. And I love it. I'm not a big pumpkin pie fan, but if I'm going to eat pumpkin pie, it better have some whipped topping.